What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. Today, we'll be going over the post-quest content for the new war, and the lack of post-quest content after the new war. So, before we get into it, make sure you're subbed to the channel and all that good stuff so you can see when the videos go up, and make sure to check out the live stream channel as well, because we're streaming a lot more on Twitch for those live streams nowadays. Alright, so this is also going to be very heavy spoiler territory. Like, I'm just going to go in pretty much. Like, there's no spoiler warning at all. If that's your spoiler warning. If you have not played the quest and you don't want to get spoiled, leave right now. Alright, so we're going to talk about the new war quest. So, basically, the quest itself was great. We've been waiting, like, what, two-ish years on this? Maybe almost 3 years at this point for the, air quotes, completion of the Lotus storyline. But there's a lot of problems here. One of them being that the Lotus storyline is not completed. Basically, the only thing that happened in the entire story is that Ballas is dead. And technically, the Man on the Wall seems like he was released from the Void Portal, or wherever that is. But that's not really what I'm thinking about right now. That's stuff that's set up in the future. What matters here is that after the 5-hour quest, all you have to do, the only thing in the entire game you can do, are reskinned 2017 bounties. Not even like, calling it a reskin, I think, is a little bit generous, actually, because these are just Corpus and Grenier with sentient hats on. And you know what? They're trying to pass it off as a new faction. These Narmer guys, let's go to the Codex and show how pitiful and stupid that is in the first place. So, basically, you have 2 new bounties that will have, like, I think a couple new weapons, a couple new mods, nothing, like, groundbreaking or anything like that. But let's look at the Codex right here. We are in the Codex at the ship. And as you can see here, DE has decided to indicate that this is an entirely different faction. As you can see right here, we have a button called Narmer, a new faction. But here's the fun part. We've got all these Narmer troops, generic stuff we already have. But let's just look at how there is no difference at all with this. So we're going to do Elite Lancer. There should be a Narmer version of that. So, Tusk, Elite Lancer. See, they're all looking exactly the same, so it's kind of hard to tell. Let's just type in Lancer. Maybe a normal Lancer, they have one of those. Look for the stupid hat. There we go. Okay, so Narmer Lancer right here. Let's look at what he drops. Okay, he drops, as rare drops, Endo, Heavy Trauma, Iron Phoenix Streamline, 100 Fairy Armor, 200 Clone Flesh. Alright, let's go with a normal Lancer. That's an Elite Lancer, actually. We're looking for a normal Lancer here. Here he is. 100 Fairy Armor, 100 Clone Flesh, and the same exact freaking drops, guys. It's the same thing. There's literally no difference. They have the same damage resistances and all that. It's a reskin. This guy's got a hat on. If he's looking from behind, you couldn't even see the hat. It's the same crap. And it's the same thing for the Corpus, too. So, they are passing off, after the quest, you're replaying 2017 bounties. But here's the even worse part. These bounties, it feels like Endo's dropping like every other quest step. You need so much of this new resource they added in, like Narmer isotopes or something like that. And as we just showed, these enemies don't drop anything new. They don't drop a new resource. You only get this new resource by completing these bounty steps in a relatively low drop rate. And you need about 60 of it to build all the stuff. So they're telling you to grind out these bounties that you've been doing for years even more. And you don't even get relics from this. You don't get Aya. You get Narmer isotopes, a couple of the new mods, and that's it. A lot of it is just one-and-done drops. So once you get the blueprint for like the new dual daggers or the whip or whatever, you don't need that drop ever again. So they really, this is where I'm the most disappointed, is they made it seem like this new war update was going to be the big update. Like, oh, you've been waiting 2 years for it, it's about to be worth it. And the quest was fun. There's definitely parts that were really bad. Like, I feel like Era as a character was terribly handled. He basically just became like gigantic baby and then like got hit on the head by some rocks and he just disappeared. So they'll probably end up using him later down the line. But the main thing here is this feels like a single player update for a live service game. This is a live service game. The world's supposed to be evolving and all that. And this is the freaking new war. And you look at the star chart and there's literally nothing that's changed. The things that have changed, you now have Lotus skins you can buy. You can fashion frame your Lotus, so have fun making it like red and black or whatever. And you also technically get new operator skins with the Drifter. Which, by the way, the Drifter is just a complete waste. There's a Drifter's Camp you can travel to now. That will definitely get expanded on in the future, but as it stands right now, the Drifter's Camp is a waste of space, and it has additional loading screens too. It's just terrible. It's really, really bad. The Drifter was added, and it does nothing to the game. And here's something that you might remember from the quest. Remember this moment in the quest where you saw this red star chart? This is what they should have done once the quest was over. You can go into the other, like the Tau system, whatever it's called, and it's like a sentient war. They call this quest the new war. It was basically just the new story quest. It was the new cutscene. There's no actual war here. You go on the plains, you see all these dead convicts everywhere, and you're like, what? When did that happen? Did this happen off screen? I didn't do any of this. This had nothing to do with me, all these dead convicts. I want a piece of that action. The story quest was great. Like it was fun. It was some interesting gameplay stuff to it. Let's not ignore the fact that all the stuff in that quest, those new boss fights, the Archon bosses, the snake, the wolf, the owl, those were pretty cool. They're not getting used ever again. They're going to have to re-add it to the game. DE does this stuff every other update. It's like with Orphix Venom. They added all these new sentient enemies. Those sentient enemies, after the event was removed, were not in the game. They put all this work on making these new sentient enemies, a summoner portal, what other thing called Sentient and all that, got removed for an entire year until they re-added it. They need to be repurposing this content smart, not stupid and lazy like these bounties are. Look at these objectives. You've probably done this objective on this Corpus bounty like 10 times already, and not to mention, like I said earlier, you get lots of endo from these bounties. It is a feels bad for someone that's been playing the game for a while. And even if you didn't grind these bounties out in the first place, they're much less efficient for farming lots of things. Well, I guess you technically have to farm these for some of the drops, but like you don't get relics from this, you don't get Aya from this. You get endo, the new Narmer isotope resource, which is used for basically, I think, Quill's rep and like Voxelaris rep, and then you can use it to build this new stuff. That's literally all it's used for. So yeah, and then there's the new set bonus mods, 2 of which are pretty bad seeming, and then the teleport one's pretty fun. But yeah, I really feel like this was a gigantic flub on DE's part. I know they said they're planning to release like more stuff to grind for the next year, but it's just sad. Look at me killing these Corpus dropships in 2021. The same thing I was doing in 2018 or 2019, whenever Fortuna came out. This is just speaking volumes to how it was handled. They should have delayed the new war. They're just like, we have to get it out in December. We have to have something for quarter 4 of 2021. See, look at all the money we made for the quarter 4 of 2021. This should have been delayed. This is unacceptable right here. There should have been a new game mode. There should have been like a gigantic sentient war mission on the plains where maybe it even lasts all day long. And depending how many Orphixes you kill during the day, it makes the drop rate for Arcane Energize go up at night. Anything. Make the Archons like the generals of the Sentients on the plains, and the Sentient War node. You beat it, and then the general, the Archon appears at the end. He's actually tuned to be really tanky. You need to like coordinate with your friends to take down the Archon. I'm just making this stuff up, like literally off the top of my head. There's nothing though. There's reskin 2017 bounties. And it's just an insult. It honestly is an insult. And the funny thing, too, is you can literally, all the stuff in these bounties, you can just buy. If you get annoyed, you're like, I'm so sick of doing, I've done these bounties 100 times already. Why am I doing this still? I keep getting endo as these drops. You can just go buy it for 180 plat. Very conveniently priced, lower than a lot of weapons. It's like they're pushing you to buy this stuff because they know how terrible the grind is. They're basically just trying to see how much mental anguish you can put up with grinding these bounties you've already done plenty of times for these drops. Though, honestly, some of the weapons suck. Some of the weapons really suck. Caliban is okay. He's not like a god to your frame or anything like that. I wouldn't recommend actively farming a second Caliban or even a first Caliban in that place. So yeah, that's pretty bad. Like I said, the Drifter is completely wasted. I'm not as mad about that one just because it's just the easiest setup ever for the future. Well, let's just quickly go to the Drifter's camp in game. We'll show how there's really nothing going on there. So here we are on Earth, and we can click on the Drifter's camp and go there. Switch operations here. So like I was really expecting, and as you see on Earth, there's a dead Murex. Like they really could have done so much more. It's the biggest waste of potential I've ever seen in this game, honestly. Like really, it is. You look at the star chart here. We're in the Drifter's camp. There is a dead Murex ship on every planet. Another thing they could have done? Every 2 hours, every 3 hours, one of these Murex ships light up, and there is an attack with the Chondrix on one of these missions, or like whatever. Like maybe it only works on certain missions, but like you go onto the plains. Look at this picture right here. There is literally a Narmer like reflector mirror thing on top of Fortuna. You go onto Fortuna, it's like nothing even happened. You go on the plains, you see, like I said, you see dead Chondrix everywhere. It's like nothing even happened. I'm literally back to opening relics, grinding Kuva, and Endo. The quest might as well not even happened as far as I'm concerned, because the game didn't change. You're acting like you're joking about how this was supposed to come out in 2019. It comes out in 2021, and look at this joke we have to deal with. Yeah, there's a gigantic Narmer thing on top of this, and literally nothing changed. Reskin, discount, dollar store corrupted bounties. Dollar store corrupted, because I bet the corrupted are 10 times more interesting than this. So that's one thing. A lot of people are not happy with how the lore was handled. I'm not as big of a lore nut as a lot of people out there are, but I've heard that, this is pretty bad. Like the thing that I noticed is not as big lore person is, yeah, Era was pretty much a wasted character. What's the Stalker been doing this whole time? It was kind of random that Hunhao was helping us. It basically just turned into, yeah, kill Ballas. And Ballas randomly just became the boss too. Like, what? Era seemed like he was going to be the boss the whole time, and it's like, oh yeah, no, Era's actually just a little baby. He actually just is running errands for Ballas this whole time. Yeah, Ballas is the big boss. Yeah. So here's what I would say needs to happen. You have shown me right here, DE, you have shown me right here that this is what you're going to treat the live service aspect of your game as. Here's what you should do. We need at least 1 or 2 updates very soon. Like, I'm talking like the next couple of weeks or like a month. We need Steel Path bounties. Or not bounties. We need Steel Path fissures. I want to be able to open fissure. I want to be able to open relics and get like Kuva and stuff at the same time. I want an actual end game in this game. If you are going to be not adding a new game mode, which a lot of people have been asking for, Sentient War mode, PvE, PvP, Necromech combat, like whatever, you need to actually add something that is going to keep people around. Because look at how embarrassing this is. People are like, oh, okay, I'll come back for the new war. Oh, what's the System of Harvest update? Yeah, I'll come back for the new war. I'm sure it'll be fun. The new war comes out, 4 or 5 hour quest. Those people that have been waiting to come back, they're already gone. They're already gone. And you're trying to drag out the new war for all of 2022, which they actually claim they're going to be adding the grindable stuff in 2022. How are you going to convince this guy that left after being like, wow, the new war after the quest is a joke? How are you going to convince him to come back and stay? This needs to be a big focus. This is not a single player game. This is not God of War. This is a live service, multiplayer, looter shooter RPG, or whatever you want to call it, MMO, whatever. You are not treating the live service aspect of the game properly. These bounties are not acceptable. Not to mention that the amp we got, and then all the stuff we got shown in the story quest, like giving the operator a weapon. I'm like, oh, cool. So the operator's gonna be able to use certain weapons. Like the Nadaruk was used by the operator in the quest. The pistol amp was used by the operator in the quest. They can still use the pistol amp. They cannot use primaries. Why do we even get to use the bow on the operator in the story if you're gonna take that away from me immediately after the quest is done? That right there, giving the operator access to like single target bows and like maybe like assault rifles and stuff, that will be moving the game forward. That will be interesting. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. You let me have a rolling animation on my operator instead of a sliding animation. That's what you did. And you gave me new skins for the Lotus. All you've done after I beat this quest is given me new skin and new fashion frame options. As someone that mostly just prefers the gameplay here, and like the fashion frame's cool too, I feel like I'm alienated on this update. I rage bought everything just because I got all the Caliban parts. I'm like, oh, you need even more resources. There's an excessive amount of grind asked of you in these bounties you've already been doing for years. And DE needs to really they need to fix this. This is not good. I'm already forgetting a bunch of stuff. I'm forgetting like a ton of stuff, honestly. 2017 bounties basically is the general gist of this. As far as stuff that is also bothering me, let me know what you guys feel like in the comments down below. I'm trying to remember if there's anything really big. I do think that there should have been they should have there's so many ways they could have done that. Make all the Archons, make those boss fights, you can hunt them down. Make it like a new mission type where it's like Archon hunt, and you start on let's say you start in Venus, and you're like, I'm going to hunt the snake. You start on Venus. It's like a mini lich hunt, but it takes a lot less time. Pretty much sentient liches, yeah. And you, at the end of it, you can maybe get a random roll on one of the weapons. Let's say you want the whip, and you want base viral on the whip. There would potentially be a way with these Archon Hunt bounties or whatever, you could get a innate viral whip. So it feels like they just rushed it out the door, honestly. It feels like they rushed it out the door. They had to meet some quota. They had to show their parent company that they actually made money this month, and it's going to be really hard to come back from this, in my opinion. I do have some hope for the future, but it just over and over again. This is our air quotes big update of the year. Think about in comparison. Here's like, this is a real talk right here. Think about all of our other big story quests we've had. Let's think about it. The new war. Okay, nothing happens after the story quest. That's not the norm. Let's look at the other ones. The War Within. That's the one where you got Kuva and Ribbons added to the game. You know, pretty big things as far as the game's concerned. We also got, I think the Operator got upgraded in that quest as well. The Second Dream unlocks the Operator in the first place. Okay, these are big changes. Big, moving forward, big changes to the game, making it new mechanics and stuff like that. Even the Sacrifice, adding Excalibur Umbra, it's basically a turret warfare that can walk around and do stuff, and Umbra mods. Those are 3 quests not as big as a new war, making bigger changes to the game than an update called frickin' The New War. There's no war going on here. There's literally nothing. We're waiting. It's the new wait. We're waiting again. If there was actually some end game here, I would not be complaining at all. Because the quest was fun, you know, lore problems aside, the quest was fun. And if you give me like a new Narmer tile set where there's like those priest dudes like hiding all over the place, if they see you, you get caught. They're like mini bosses in the Narmer tile set. What was the plan here? Was there any plan here? Okay, I guess like try to like drown the players out, like smoke them out with how much can they take grinding a bounty until they go crazy and buy it? That's what feels like the plan was for the post New War content to me. So, I guess I'm forgetting lots of stuff here. Let me know what problems you had with the quest. I'm not even scratching the surface, really, but we should expect more for the live service aspect of this game. DE is treating this specific update like it's a Spider-Man game. It's God of War. It's whatever. But the multiplayer part of the game is suffering. These bounties suck. People are buying their way past it because it sucks. We've already grinded this 20 times already. And yeah, if this is how they're going to treat Endgame going forward, how could anyone have any hope? The only hope I have is when I saw that red star chart, and I'm like, maybe in the future, maybe in the future I could see them potentially doing something like that. But until then, yeah, it just I'm not even sad. I'm just disappointed. Like this is like the 3rd or 4th time that there's been something that has just been kind of half-assed, to be honest. So yeah. Not to mention, like, they wasted so much time making Call and the Corpus guy and then Teshin, and they kill off Teshin basically off screen. He gets like his neck snapped, I guess, and now we have an illusion Teshin, which is, pretty terrible. And then Call and the Corpus guy got used once, and then we never played them ever again. So yeah, nice use of time there. Playing as Call was pretty fun. Playing as the Corpus guy was less fun, but still interesting. Yeah, I don't know, just a waste of time as usual with DE and their updates, where they put so much effort into specific things and then just they use it for like 5 minutes. Oh yeah, you know the biggest thing I forgot. Why was a Necromech required? There was no need for a Necromech in that quest. 5 minutes, 10 minutes of Necromech combat, if that, and the combat you were doing your Necromech could have easily been done on foot. I feel like that Necromech requirement for the quest was put in there to push Necromech plat sales, honestly. Because like, farming a Necromech is very annoying and random for a lot of people. It's like, if you don't know what to do, it's like, how are you going to even figure that out? But hey, you want to play the big new shiny new war quest? Go buy your Necromech. And the funny thing is, people have been telling me they've been doing the Necromech part of the quest unmodded. So, what? There was literally level 6 sentience in that part too, so I'm not surprised. Level 6 sentience for a quest that requires a Railjack, a Necromech, I think it also required the Paracesis. You were in your frame for like 2 minutes. It was the easiest part of the entire quest. Now that just shows they are basically saying they cannot balance the frame, but that's besides the point. The Necromech should have not been required at all. I can see the Railjack being required, that's fine, but the Necromech, there was no reason to require the Necromech, so. Hopefully you guys found this video therapeutic and helpful. We need to honestly DE needs to fix this. They need to fix this. This is unacceptable in its current state. The update is already basically done for. Let's check the player numbers currently on PC. I think we are peaking at like 130K on the day of the quest. On a random Tuesday, we're at 54K. So higher than normal. I think it was like around 30K a couple months ago. So higher than normal. But this is supposed to, like I said, this is supposed to push the update, the game forward, and all we got to show for it is some skins to the operator. So hopefully you like skins. Isn't it funny how every Warframe update basically boils down to, hey, there's new skins. There's a new Mesa skin, dude. There's a new Volt skin. There's a new Lotus skin. You can also make your operator look like a adult. Aren't you happy about that? I'm not happy. I'm happy that we have those options, but like, is this it? This spoiler, this is it. Go get a ribbon for the Nadaruk, I guess. Go get a build on your weapons that are new, and just F off. Go play another game until they make another update. I'm saying don't expect another update to the new war until like March, guys. If they're gonna be adding some new game mode or whatever, don't expect it till March. And even then, like, who knows? All right. Well, I'm just bummed out now. Gonna go cry in the corner. Take it easy. Peace.